Hello, this is Linda Vettrus-Nichols, and do I have an amazing person to introduce to you, Eva Hoffman. Welcome, Eva.
Thank you, Linda.
Pleasure to have you. All right, so we're talking about discernment and intelligences, like kind of like the idea of multiple intelligences. So let's start with discernment. Discernment reveals things that you don't already know and directs you in your decision-making process. It also gives you clarity and wisdom, as well as an advantage in many situations. Eva, you want to jump in here? Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
Well, I am not absolutely sure that it reveals things that we don't already know.
Right? Because we know.
At sometimes, yes, but
Mhm.
it is possible that we know, but we're not allowing ourselves.
Right, not conscious of it.
Not exactly.
Yes, I love that. Great
Yes,
spin on
and
it.
we need to be brought to open to the awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than that they're completely unknown, and
Love it.
and always the possibility of distinguishing between two different aspects of the same thing does give clarity, but at times it may also make us feel a little bit muddled up. It doesn't necessarily go one way. It could go in a different direction as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Beans.
But definitely it is an extremely useful process, one way
Yes.
or another. There is no question about that.
Right? Yeah, when we're free to discern, when we're giving ourselves the freedom to discern, we're in ultimate freedom. We're in and able to easily then make a choice. And so much throughout history has been the church telling people what to do, or just families deciding what their child's going to do even as an adult, and doesn't teachers teaching children what to think rather than how to think. So discernment is really a freedom. Do you agree?
I certainly do agree, but I also think that what I observe,
Yeah.
many children these days have much more choice and are brought up in much more openness when it
Yeah.
comes to the ability to think and choose.
Yeah.
And this is great progress, I think.
Yeah.
Schools still are lagging behind,
Right.
but I know many parents who do bring up children with this openness,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
ability to, yes.
And openness can get kind of scary because it's shifting, even like at the dentist here in the United States. It's like, well, whatever you want to do. And it's like, well, like, give me some facts on to go on because you're the professional. I don't even know what my choices are. Give me something to discern, right? So that was
Absolutely.
interesting as well. Can get
when
overwhelming.
when, when we when we say to children or young people,
Yeah.
we ask them a question: what do you think about whatever it is? And very often people say, I don't know, or
Yeah.
I don't care. However, if you say, well, how about this or that, or maybe something else,
Nice.
and that inspires them to come up with their own ideas. They don't necessarily choose any of the given options,
Yeah.
but that makes thinking,
Yeah.
discernment much easier.
Almost permission to choose, and it gets the mind going. I love that. That's fabulous. All right. So discernment and intelligences. Discernment is the quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure using one or more of the intelligences. How do you feel about that one?
I'm not quite sure. What is intelligence?
Yeah, let's go there, right?
Let's go there a little bit. Yes. I love the idea of multiple intelligences. This has played a great part in the way I worked with young people, children and a little bit older, because I firmly believe that everybody has some kind of intelligence, and children very frequently think that because they are not terribly good at what is called academic subjects, they are not intelligent.
Exactly.
So the fact that they called intelligences and not only talents and gifts is extremely important. However,
absolutely.
what it really means, when I talk to children about intelligences, for example, well, I love all intelligences, but musical is specifically close to my heart.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, your parents were both musicians.
I looked at 3 different aspects of this intelligence. The brain aspect of intelligence, the knowledge, information,
right?
Music theory.
Yeah.
The heart of the intelligence, the passion, the memories, the moods, and the action, actually, playing the instrument, singing, composing. Right. So looking at which one is all the 3 are aspects of this intelligence. And that made it possible for so many more people to actually identify themselves with certain kind of intelligence.
Yeah, and that's so important, because just because you don't play an instrument doesn't mean you can't, write a symphony. We've seen that. Yeah,
exactly.
I love that. Yeah, break it down, like, who you are and what is that part that you play in the world, because we're really missing something without you. I love that. Okay, so yeah, like you were saying, that kind of the school, like logical and mathematical, and that's what school expects. Yeah, and linguistic would be another one school would lean towards, as being, oh, you're so smart. Right? And do you want to tell us a little bit about either one of those?
Each of those are gifts, talents, strengths, and eliminating half of them is the greatest mistake of our educational system. Well, not even more than half of them.
Right.
What is very interesting that in the past, apparently, I'm told, in England, this was not so. Every intelligence, maybe then it wasn't called intelligence because we didn't call that, we call them gifts and talents.
Yeah.
But everyone was recognized.
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment with narrowing curriculum, we have mathematical, logical, and linguistic intelligence as treated as the intelligences.
Yeah.
And also, what is quite important, apparently, the intelligence quotient just shows that people can do tests.
Right. That's the scary part.
That is the scary part. And for years and years and years, it was treated as a very important test, and it dictated people's lives. Which,
for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I just want to tell you very, very briefly a story. I was working with children, 10-year-old children, and I gave them a mind map of all intelligences, and I was talking them around the mind maps and telling them what each of them meant, and asked them to circle what was true about them.
Ah, beautiful.
And some children marked just about everything. Some children marked only 1 or 2 or 3. But there were children who didn't mark anything.
Oh.
There was this little boy sitting sitting and looking at me, and I said, "Is that boring?" And he said, "No, but I am rubbish at everything."
Oh.
So obviously I stopped everything, doing other things, and I focused. I said, "But what is it that you really like doing?"
Right? Yeah.
"I like planting radishes with my grandfather." Wow, this is wonderful. So we started talking about nature and about growth, and how vital and important it was for our survival for people to have this kind of intelligence and this passion.
Love it.
And I said, "Well, is there anything else that you like doing?" And he looked at me and said, "I like playing the drums."
Oh.
Wow. So we got the drum kit into the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
The little boy performed in front of the classroom, and the children were absolutely wonderful and clapped. And do you know, the important thing is, my grandson was in this class. 10 years later, my grandson met this boy, and he said that he would never forget this lesson. And you know, when I think about it, it brings tears to my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think, how many children have never had this opportunity?
Yeah. That judgment from out there, right? Instead of the getting in touch with self. And that, like, I love the flip that you did, and that you believe in it's coming from passion. Yeah, it's not for anyone else to judge. I love that. Okay, and spatial intelligence. When we hear spatial intelligence, what I think of is people who walk into a room and go, something's missing, that something got moved, or they know exactly what's missing or exactly what got moved. And my mom seemed to have spatial intelligence because she walked into, my grandparents went to a senior living place that was brand new, so it was all white walls, and she just walked in and kind of took that snapshot in her brain, and then she went to figure out fabrics and coverings for furniture and stuff, and she instantly had it. She could see it all up there already. Is that spatial intelligence to you? Is that what you think about?
It is, but also just understanding how things fit within a space. So, for example, if you remove all your furniture and think where to put what, some people immediately know without even taking measurements.
Okay,
where to put what, how things will fit together.
Right.
Others not necessarily.
Yeah, and it's the architect that has great spatial awareness.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say, yes.
And a lot of times architects have dyslexia,
which is vital intelligence for architecture.
Right? Yeah, and a lot of times architects have dyslexia, and yet dyslexia is developmental. As soon as, when a baby's laying in the crib, as soon as the baby recognizes you from all different sides of the crib, they're now dyslexic, and then they slowly move out of that too. And that's just a stage of development that some people haven't moved out of, and it makes them fabulous architects. I love that.
Yeah. It's imagination. It's the ability to visualize things, but in a specific way.
Yeah. Okay. So, and body-kinesthetic, that would be me, the dancer. I feel it right in my body. Yep. I don't think about it. I just, I sense it. How about you? What do you say about body-kinesthetic? Hands-on learners.
Well, definitely people who need to move.
Yeah. And touch.
We all, and touch, very much touch. Yes, the sensitivity to different surfaces. Yes, to playing with something.
No labels, please. Thank you very much. I love it.
Yes, I know this is this is absolutely characteristic of most little children, practically all little children, but then as we grow up, some of us stop feeling that way. But there are people who will never wear anything that is stiff
Yeah.
and uncomfortable, like
Mhm.
myself.
Yeah.
As you see, I have to have everything soft.
Me too.
And it matters a lot
Mhm.
that I am able to move. I don't think anybody would
Yes.
ever like to sit behind me in a theater on a concert, because I
I love that.
this is very true.
Right?
Even now, yes. Sitting still is definitely not
It's
comfortable.
not your thing.
And the real trouble is that children are still told at school, sit still, look at me and listen.
Oh, yeah.
Which
Yeah.
basically means don't learn.
Right. And some kids actually think better when they're not looking at you. They hear nothing when they're looking at you.
Absolutely. Yes. You know, we listen with our ears, not with our eyes. But we confuse politeness in our culture. It is polite to look at the speaker. And we have to be able to differentiate between learning and politeness.
Right. And in some cultures, it's not polite to look your elders in the eyes. So hello, which tends to be rather indigenous, which I love. Okay. So musical intelligence, that's in your family big time. Your parents were musicians, taught at a music academy, right? And is that your guitar behind you?
Yes. And well, we all played, and I played the cello for many years, and I sang. Yes, but again, you know, there are people who can't read music, who sit at the piano or take any instruments and start playing.
Right. Yeah, my daughter, she'd come down at age 4 and she'd just start playing these fabulous little tunes. And I took her to a piano teacher and I said, you know, just don't tell her to practice or you'll completely lose her. And she didn't. And they did, you know, like 9 months through the school year, right? And then she said, you know, Amy, if you practiced just a little bit, you'd be so fabulous for the recital. Guess who didn't go to the recital, and guess who didn't play the piano until she was 7? I knew my kid. So she had it.
Yes, not discouraging people is.
Yeah.
If you cannot encourage them, just don't discourage them.
I know, right? Yeah. And so then the big kids came along when she was in 4th grade with like the symphony instruments, like the violin. And she was just like, oh, I want to play that. And it's like, oh my God, I'm thinking, it's going to be horrible listening to her practice. She just picked it up and played it. The same didn't happen with the flute. Then she moved on to the flute. And I had a music teacher actually come to the house to tutor her. And she just took it and tipped it, turned it just a little bit, and boom, that kid could play. And she's like, I really don't know. I mean, I could teach her theory, but she'd hate it and it wouldn't be good for her. You know? So yeah, there's definite musical intelligence in that kid.
Teaching theory when it's needed and when it's wanted.
Oh, please. Yes. There you go. Bottom line. Yeah. And naturalistic, that's what you were kind of speaking to, that little boy with his passion. He liked to be like out there and gardening and, you know, sees life through nature, basically. So great.
Yes, like loving David Attenborough.
Oh, yeah, right.
Wonderful, incredible programs, yes.
Yeah.
And naturalistic could be combined with spiritual intelligence.
Yeah.
Now, when I talk to children, I gently move a little bit in this direction as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That one didn't get written down here. Love it.
This incredible abundance and
yeah. And that feeling, that sense of connectedness. Yeah. Even aspen trees talk to each other. You know, they're like super connected. Exactly. I love it.
Belonging together. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. And then for this one, there's interpersonal, intrapersonal, and then what's considered emotional intelligence is those two together. So interpersonal is really like I always get these mixed up. Is that the one where you're more?
Is understanding myself.
Yeah, I was going to say self.
Between people. But it's been said many times that emotional intelligence is more important than anything else when it comes to life, to living with people, to life success, to work success,
to world peace. You can't have world peace without inner peace. So interpersonal is huge. Then we can move forward into getting along with each other.
Yes, that is very true. That is very true. It is, yeah.
So intrapersonal is the kind of like how well you get along with others. That would be like reading social cues, reading body language. What do you think of when you see that word intrapersonal?
Liking people and wanting to connect with people, wanting to with people, being a leader or a member of the team, but an active member, who likes being with other people. And like if we teach people, we obviously, ideally,
have some good interpersonal skills.
We like people, we're interested in people.
Yeah.
And all professions which go out to people require interpersonal intelligence.
Yeah.
Without intrapersonal intelligence, well, we know this one needs to be developed, and somehow interpersonal intelligence, I think, develops before in children, before interpersonal.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
man.
And it takes sometimes many years working on ourselves.
They work on their autonomy first. Hence the 2-year-old. No for everything.
Understanding ourselves, yes.
Yeah. So emotional intelligence. John Chapelier has an excellent course that includes that. So what do you have to say about that one, emotional intelligence?
Well, it is understanding how people feel.
Yeah.
And how I feel. So I understand, this is what we talk to children about. We say, well, if somebody says that, how do you feel? So when you say something, how do you think other people feel? Well, that is the essential beginning, but it's
like teaching empathy.
It's really teaching empathy, yes.
I love it.
Making little people aware.
Yeah.
Just aware. This is such an important start.
Absolutely. Moving them from interpersonal skills to intrapersonal skills. I love it. Okay, and then existential intelligence. How do you see that one?
I don't know.
Is it like why things exist?
It is. I have.
Like, how would you describe somebody that you would see existential intelligence in? What would that be?
That's what I'm
struggling with.
Yes, I'm struggling with defining existential intelligence. I've never seriously thought about it.
Like things existing that can't be seen?
Well, but not necessarily.
Okay.
If something exists, some things can be seen, something can't. I don't really know how I would. Frankly speaking, I don't know how to describe it.
So we'll just Google that one.
I don't.
I love it.
No.
Yeah. And then creative intelligence.
Creativity is something we are born with, and
it's limitless thinking, right? And possibility thinking.
It is possibility thinking, but also possibility doing. So it is creative thinking and creative arts and life, basically.
Mhm.
People
Yeah.
may not be artists, but they may be very creative in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Although people can be creative and they just sort of do it for themselves. And innovation, I wonder if innovative is an intelligence too, because people who take their creativity and do something with it are more in the innovator category.
Well, I think there are different kinds of creativity, because I may take different elements which are known to everybody, and I may combine them in a way which is new and different and serves certain purpose.
Right.
Whereas there is also creativity where people discover things that
There you go.
have been known about.
Yeah.
So it is a very, very different thing.
And invent things.
Invent things, yes.
Yeah.
And creative thinking is something we need to teach. We usually teach. We don't.
I think we squelch it out of kids and then pick them up later. You know, the types of teachers you and I are, and we find ourselves reteaching it. However, it was there to begin with.
Absolutely, you know, with apparent, you know, a lot of research has been done. Kids at the age of 4 or 5 are incredibly imaginative, incredibly creative.
Oh, yeah, they're learning to lie. They're getting creative with even lying. And lying is not like a bad thing. Like, be careful what you're doing around lying with children, because it will keep them alive. You know, just look at the movies with the good guys and the bad guys. You know, when the good guys lie, that's when they stay alive, people. So it is developing creative thinking in being able to lie.
You know,
they perfect it by 18, by the way. Wait.
When I lied as a child, my mother used to say, "All right, Eva, this is what you would like it to be. Now, what is it? What was it like in reality?" And I thought this was original, because she never said, "You're lying. This is not true." She said, "That's what you would like it to be."
Oh, that's so cute.
Yes, I've been using that because I thought this was a very creative approach.
A very creative approach. Yeah, absolutely. Todd Church's mom, when he'd ask a question, she'd say, "Oh, I don't know. Let's go look it up." And I'm like, yes, those are my kind of mamas. I love it. Okay, so collaborative intelligence.
Oh, well,
that's more intrapersonal, being able to collaborate with people, like a creative being able to, you know, be willing to hook up with an innovator, right? And get things out in the world.
It is the ability to function in groups.
Yeah.
To function effectively.
Yeah.
To function and create a team as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And it might be someone who's more of a leader, but you don't have to be a leader to have collaborative intelligence.
Yes.
In fact, you'd be a really good leader if you did. Right? Those are our best leaders. I love it. All right. And your favorite one, practical intelligence. Yes. Let's go there.
Well, because, yes, you know, in life, it is so important to have this intelligence developed, and it can be developed, it can be taught. And, well, the need usually, you know, creates a situation when you have to come up with a solution.
Yeah, like street smart, right? With practical intelligence.
Yes, yes, and street smart and house smart, and figuring out sometimes quite simple solutions to problems, but not obvious to people at all.
Yeah, right. Just practical.
It is very, very practical.
Common sense, like, oh, but what is common sense? It varies for all of us.
As somebody said, there is nothing common about common sense. I think it was George Bernard Shaw. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, there you have it. Plenty of intelligences to think about. And I love the spin you brought to the conversation, Eva, of how it's passion. It's not someone judging if you're good or not good. including yourself, good or not good. It's passion, right?
It is, yes.
I love it. Thank you so much.